On Tuesday, President Donald Trump once again refrained from confirming whether the United States would continue to support the mutual defense provision in the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, a NATO treaty. This provision saw America's allies come to her aid following the September 11, 2001, terrorist attacks on New York and Washington. While speaking to reporters aboard Air Force One en route to The Hague for the alliance's annual leader-level summit, the president was asked if he remained committed to Article 5 of the North Atlantic Treaty. Article 5 states that an attack against one member is considered an attack against all of the organization's 32 member nations. Trump, who frequently avoided expressing U.S. support for the Collective Defense Pact during his first term, and only did so reluctantly when pressed, declined to provide a definitive answer. He responded by saying, "It depends on your definition. There are numerous definitions of Article 5. You know that, right?" The president added that he was nonetheless committed to being friends with the other members of the alliance because he had become friends with many of those leaders and was committed to helping them. When pressed further to clarify his stance on mutual defense, he stated that he was committed to saving lives and committed to life and safety. He promised to give his exact definition of Article 5 upon arriving in The Hague, rather than doing so on the back of an airplane. Trump's ambiguous language regarding American support for NATO's foundational commitment, the pledge for all member nations to aid any member under attack, is yet another example of his tendency to hedge on the matter or even express hostility toward the defensive alliance. He has long incorrectly described it as a sort of protection racket in which other nations pay dues to the organization. His skepticism towards NATO dates back to his first visit to the annual gathering in 2017, when he complained that other members of the bloc weren't paying what he termed their fair share because they weren't yet meeting a targeted amount of defense spending as a percentage of gross domestic product, GDP. That target, set at 2% of GDP nearly 2 decades ago, has been reached by at least 23 of the 32 members as of last year. However, the organization is poised to raise the commitment to 5% of GDP at this year's summit, providing Trump with a significant victory and a potential tool to pressure other members by threatening to withhold U.S. assistance in the event of an attack on a nation that isn't meeting that target. A White House official stated that Trump intends to push for the group to set the historic 5% defense spending pledge, describing it as something that would strengthen the alliance's combined military capabilities and ensure greater stability in Europe and the world. He will also urge NATO members to revitalize their industrial capacities in order to create Western supply chains capable of producing the critical minerals, infrastructure, weapons, and other products necessary for the security of America and her allies, the official added. The president is also scheduled to participate in bilateral meetings with several world leaders and hold a press conference before departing the summit late Wednesday. His whirlwind visit will kick off Tuesday evening with an official welcome ceremony and a formal dinner with the King and Queen of the Netherlands, along with other NATO leaders. It remains unknown which leaders he will meet with during his time at the summit on Wednesday. Heads of state or government from all 32 member nations will be in attendance, along with one high-profile guest, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky.